practice. We can become nurse practitioners. You know, in the US, you can have registered nurses for doing anesthetics. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, they are a specialty within their own right as an advanced practice nurse. The profession has come a phenomenally long way, and we need to be advocating for both ourselves, our profession, to continue to make these gains and progress, that we can then keep attracting new people to be interested in this job.
Do you have a little comment about the pay scale? You know, when nurses are doing 3 years of study or 4 years of study plus a postgraduate year, and then their pay is not of the same ilk as somebody that's probably done a 3-year course.
I guess it's frustrating and sad because nurses have come such a long way since Florence, but we practice in a profession that's endlessly complex. We need to be updating our knowledge all the time.
Yeah.
And we're not really afforded the respect and the accompanying pay that treats us as the tertiary professionals that we are. You know, how many people can put their hand up and say that I'm here today because a nurse was switched on? Or how many people can say, you know, I'm here today because, you know, my healthcare team was as switched on as they are? It's creating, by paying nurses fairly for the clinical job that we do, the clinical responsibility that we hold, it creates an environment in which people will be interested, and you will have that future planning, succession planning, to ensure that there will be nurses in the future.
We have to attract the nurses, don't we?
We do.
You need a lot of nurses. And when you look at your work now and what you do, can you imagine having to comply with the Florence Nightingale, which is the training that I came under, where your beds have to be lined up, wrinkles have to be out of the sheets and the blankets, curtains have to be facing the same way, bedside tables have to be immaculate, the flowers have to be in clean water, the water jug has to be within reach for the patient. I bet you don't even think of those things when you are at work.
I would honestly struggle with that because emergency nursing, the focus is, are you dying, yes or no? Yes. You know, once we've worked out that are you dying, yes or no, that's where we start to then, as an afterthought, we start to think about, have you got your water jug? Is that then we're thinking, you know, a lot of our patients, is that patient on a fluid restriction because their heart is failing, so we can't be giving them too much water or too little water? And it's because you very rightly have highlighted that, you know, back when you were training, we're now dealing with the aesthetics of nursing, whereas when I went through uni, for all its positives and negatives, we were really being laid the groundwork to be a strong critical thinker.
Yes.
But there's still a lot of that hospital training where, you know, like having those aesthetics and niceties, but the priority for me was learning how to do the job, even if I spent most of my time in a textbook rather than on the wards.
And you learning to do your job, you said you like to study and you like to practice and you like to learn more. Would that be because you've made a few little mistakes in your life?
Every single one of us has made a mistake. I'm no exception.
Have you got a memorable oops moment?
Most certainly. I don't think there's anyone who doesn't. So I was still quite new to my department, and, you know, this patient comes in and they tell me, my left side's been feeling weaker than the other one. So I'm thinking, okay, let's start to do that. So I'm starting to do all of my assessments. I get them to squeeze my hands and, lo and behold, the left side's weaker than the right. And then I start to check his eyes. His left eye doesn't move. I then freaked out, got my team's review, stroke call gets activated. Our neuro team and stroke team come down, who had been reading the patient's history, and the strokes nurse specialist said, "Has he got his glass eye in, dear?" And then I realised, he does. Oops.
That's why the eye doesn't react to light.
No.
Oh, dear.
I learned a very valuable lesson. Ask patients, do you have a glass eye?
Oh, my God, you wouldn't ask every patient if they have a glass eye, but anyone that doesn't move.
I did for a solid 6 months.
But you didn't feel foolish?
No, because it was
the team
more
are good.
It was more like hey, that's actually really stupid. Well done. That's like a new level of stupid. You've ascended to the top of the stupid table. I need to be replaced by someone else in the future.
Has anyone replaced you as stupid?
There has.
Who? Tell me what.
Oh, I can't. The poor girl will know I'm talking about her, and that's not fair.
Okay, you can't just talk about what it was.
So there's one I heard from out in the bush where I think it might have been me, where I had a young lady who came in, she was pregnant, and this is one I use to my junior nurses when they do something stupid. And I'm like, you will never top me on this. I said to her, basically this young lady comes in, she's having a baby, and I'm like, right, I have done 3 days of training, but I am not going to tell her that. And I might have said something along the lines to the community midwife of, help, I don't know what to do with the vagina.
You what?
I said to her, help, I don't know what to do with a vagina. The midwife starts to laugh hysterically at me and says, dear, you don't need to do anything.
Why did you think you needed to do something with the vagina?
Because I didn't know, because I'm not a midwife. I'd done like 3 days of emergency midwifery training. That was it. Yeah. I'd practice on like a rubber vagina that just shat out babies. And I'm like, it was nowhere near the same as seeing a lovely lady in labour screaming at me, help, there's a baby coming.
Oh, she was actually in labour.
She was in labour.
I missed that bit.
Yeah, she was actively in labour. I was in the middle of the bush thinking, shit, I have no idea what to do here.
But you had team on call that could.
I had the midwife coming 3 hours from Karratha.
Oh my God, I love that. Call the midwife.
Yeah, who's 3 hours away. I was like, oh, what?
Did you end up delivering that baby?
No, thankfully we were able to transfer her because we had a volunteer crew. RFDS happened to be in the area, and thankfully our flight nurses are phenomenal humans and thankfully qualified midwives. So everything, from what I understand, everything went without a hitch, but I was terrified.
Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah. But
I mean, you must be in situations there where as a male nurse you feel a disadvantage, like, putting a catheter in a female, or being a very junior male nurse on your first ward where you're having to shower somebody.
I think it's more mindful. But yeah, there is definitely those feelings at the start because especially being a male coming into a female-dominated profession, you really need to be very mindful of the team that you work in. So for me, it was learning very quickly that it's not always about me, it's always about the patient. So if I'm doing, say investigations for a young lady, if I need to do an ECG for her, I'll ask her, hey, and I'll tell her exactly what's going to happen. I need to put my dots here and under the line of your breast. Are you okay for me to do that, or do you want me to grab one of the ladies? And it really depends on, what people are comfortable with. More often than not, young ladies will be like, yep, no problem, absolutely. But then if people turn around and say, oh, no, well, that's fine, I'll grab a lady for you.
Yeah. Yeah, you become clinical. I've had to do that where I'm catheterising men, one after the other on the spinal unit at one of the hospitals. And every 4 hours you go and catheterise them. And you are just very practical, very clinical, and they're actually very grateful for you to come back and do that again for that whole shift, because they need to empty their bladder. But, yeah, you have that clinical face, you have that clinical professional, and always I say to people, explain what you're doing to somebody and get their consent.
Always.
Very important.
But then I've also experienced the flip side where some of my colleagues have said, hey, do you mind helping me with this gentleman? He doesn't want a female nurse. I'm like, absolutely no problem.
Yeah.
Or sometimes as a male nurse, I've had colleagues say to me, you've got a penis, you get to deal with this.
Okay, so from the flip side of being very polite and professional to, But if you've got a dick, go and deal with the dick.
But that's all correct. But that's also, again, that professionalism of ED nurses where it's like, yeah, you've got a penis, deal with it. All right.
It's been so good to have you here tonight. I can't believe how we met and that your sister dobbed you in.
It's okay.
Shout out to her. I didn't catch her name either. Georgia. Thank you very much for introducing me to Christian.
You're very welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here tonight.
Thank you so much. I hope that your journey with your new council role and helping the nurses with the ANF and things like that, mentoring with all the students.
And the grads who, bless, I love them.
Yeah.
You got to live vicariously through them, and yes, it's a lot of tears. Yes, it's a lot of work, but
when you can put your arm around them at the end of the day and say, you did a good job, you're going to be okay.
Yeah. Or they come to you being like, Christian, I sucked less than yesterday. I'm like, yes, you go, girl, you go.
Christian, thank you so much for coming in. I've really appreciated it.
Anytime.
We might get you back another day.
Sounds fun. I look forward to it.
Okay. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Thank you for tuning in to Conversations with Nurses. To find more episodes, head to iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. If you are a nurse with a story to share, send us an email at nurses@barefoot-media-co.